2024 was an abysmal year for entertainment. I was looking forward to a couple of releases on the air, but ultimately they completely and totally missed the mark. And as we finally turn the year on, the abysmal year that was, we can look back one last time to realize that, oh boy, even the normies are starting to pick up on the fact that this stuff is really not hitting. And now that we're finally getting some strong and reliable ratings results, we can see what is hitting, what isn't hitting, and what studios are doing moving forward. So broadcast was surprisingly resilient in 2024. Hey guys, not everything was awful. Okay, boomers are still watching procedurals on network television at a slower rate than ever, but hey, no, things are fine. They held up well, I guess, amid production declines. Yeah, no, you see, they're still hanging on, sort of, even though there's less jobs, less creativity going on. Don't worry about that. But streaming still leads the pack. Fool me once, led TV last year. Luminate says, and yeah, looking at the Luminate ratings, which has become far more reliable than even Nielsen, because at least they're providing some insights with some down ballot series that are very pertinent to the type of stuff we talk about. TV production was still down last year, albeit decreasing at a slower rate than the year prior, down 7% from 2023. See, people are falling off, but the people that are staying on, they're still liking what they're seeing. Well, worthless reporting, as the entertainment industry continues to find its footing after a couple of rough years. Yeah, after the easy victory and, the head start that you guys gave yourself in 2020 when everybody else was locked inside their homes, 2020 and 2021 when everybody else couldn't participate in polite society if they wouldn't, participate in a mass medical experimentation, giving yourselves a certain preferences and leeway to continue to work, forcing everybody inside to be proselytized to and indoctrinated with your message. Yeah, it was a rough couple of years when you decided to shut down due to strikes of your own accord because you were too greedy and too stupid to plan for the future. Yeah, great job on that one. Don't expect me to shed a tear anytime soon. Luminate's 2024 year-end analysis is just the latest to validate the contraction in production following the dual WGA SAG-AFTRA strikes, which has impacted every area of film and television. So yeah, they'll have that to complain about because, prior to that, they were still coasting off of, COVID was real tough for us. And now it's, the writers and the actors strike, that was really bad. And now going forward, they'll say, the fires in California, man, that just knocked us out. That's why all of our writing has been ass for years. Right. But anyways, interestingly, Illuminate points out that broadcast TV was surprisingly resilient, recovering from work stoppages a bit quicker than its streaming and cable counterparts. Yeah, mostly because the people that are writing and acting in that stuff know exactly what they're going to be doing. Like, these are 22 to 24 episode series that just come out and people watch them because it's ritualized. That's why that continues to hold on. Your broadcast stuff will remain and you will still have that steady audience that's there. Meanwhile, all of your boutique streaming shows, they're very hit or miss because it's a small series that people down the line, if they're not following it at the time, they can just, instead of jumping in midway through a season, they can just wait until everything's all done and then just go watch it at a later date, meaning getting an accurate pulse as to what everybody thinks about it at the time of release. You're never going to figure out what you need to do for a season 2, or even if there's enough of an audience or enough of a fan base to support a continuation of this story. That's another big problem with streaming. And then also just giving hundreds of millions of dollars to absolute hacks. That's another big problem, but I digress. That's likely due to the fact that, yes, networks hustled to get broadcast episodes back on the air at the beginning of the year, talking about streaming and cable counterparts, a 25% year-over-year increase. Yeah, and you got other information that, fewer and fewer people are spending money on streaming services, but don't worry about any of that. Meanwhile, cable has suffered the most. Luminate says original series on cable reached a new low, plummeting 15% from 2023, which Luminate attributes to a cratered audience for those series as streaming has taken over. Speaking of, streaming production in the United States is still down significantly from pre-strike levels. The report states Netflix alone produced 22% less US-based series last year than in 2022, and even still, it remains far ahead of its competitors in that arena. Prime Video is the only streamer that hasn't reduced US-based production output in the last 2 years, mostly because they've outsourced a ton of it, and the stuff that they were producing in-house is probably their highest rated At least on American shores. Like Reacher season 3, I think, is like right around the corner, and that was wildly successful. Meanwhile, they're more boutique outings. Specifically, oh, I don't know. Rings of Power minutes dropped 60% for season 2. Yeah, we know. It's really bad. It's one of those things, right? Shout out EFAP. I've probably listened to the complete breakdown of season 2. Like, it's hilariously stupid. God damn it, man. And as over this past month, to just go ahead and try to get me through January as quickly as possible, I have been rewatching, and in the case of The Hobbit, experiencing it for the first time. In the Hobbit movies, they're not good. They're definitely not good. They're leagues better than Rings of Power. But just going back and, watching PJ's trilogy, man, it's like, you guys, it's the technology's there, the ability to adapt this epic source material, okay, the ability to just write, like, it's right there. You can do all of it. Things can be this good. You just refuse to do it. And because shit has gotten so bad, people are just, going back and revisiting the classics. And is that necessarily a bad thing? Like, are you going to find anything better than Lord of the Rings trilogy out there right now? Absolutely not. Still undefeated 25 years on. And finally getting to see the extended editions in 4K. I cannot recommend a viewing experience more than that. Like, that was transcendent. It looks like they were just made yesterday, but I know that they weren't made yesterday because the dialogue is fantastic and the acting is top tier. But looking into the specifics of the numbers, because, there's only a couple of things that are referenced here, like in general, unscripted episodes and, reality TV, it's gone down, okay? And people are getting their entertainment elsewhere. But, Netflix is still doing good, fool me once, it's 12 billion minutes, okay? And Taylor Sheridan continues to crush it with his scripted series. It's like, for as much as they don't want to admit it, it's like the guy, whenever he puts out a project, and he's kind of a machine when it comes to turning this stuff out, right? Because you had Landman last year, Tulsa King, you had Yellowstone wrap up, and Lioness, is that another one that he does? But yeah, Landman and Tulsa King, both top 5. Now, this is especially interesting, giving Landman's a mid-November premiere. Just 6 weeks, managed nearly 10 billion minutes viewed, illustrating just how popular the particular series was. Yeah, normies love that stuff. Okay, I can't speak to the quality, mostly because the streaming shows and most TV shows today just give me absolute nausea. But my parents, who are just absolute normies, they love all that Taylor Sheridan stuff. And the people that do watch it, Tulsa King and Landman, and then early seasons of Yellowstone, like, they all love it. So good for them. Good for them, but that's not the only stuff that was on streaming last year, okay? Because we got to take a look at the nitty-gritty stuff that wasn't mentioned at all, and that would be specifically Disney and Marvel. Because I would imagine, right, like that Taylor Sheridan stuff, like outside of, like, I don't know, maybe, paying Billy Bob and Sly a few $1 million, like, they're probably fairly economical productions. Like, these aren't costing hundreds of millions of dollars, like The Acolyte, $230 million, or Agatha, over $100 million, or Echo, the same price point, the 2 lowest viewed Marvel shows in history. We got them right here, because we got some Disney specific numbers. And brother, as bad as 2024 was, I'm kind of thinking 2025 is going to be even worse. Because we got the numbers for Skeleton Crew, and bro, I guess maybe you could try to fold that into 2024, but everything all wrapped up this year, and nobody was reporting on it. Like, nobody was talking about it. It is the most fart in the wind series I have ever seen in my life. Completely expected, by the way, but holy shit. Anyways, the Acolyte viewership failure exposed by official third-party report. Star Wars downfall revealed as Access Media tries to spin this as a positive. How could you possibly do that? This past weekend, numerous Access Media media outlets and Star Wars-centric content creators celebrated the perceived success of the Acolyte. Yeah, because, hey, it just about got close to the top of one chart. Okay, so yeah, the Acolyte is totally back, bros. Acolyters stay winning. Headlines and X-Post boasted that the Acolyte was Disney Plus's second most watched series of the year, accumulating 2.7 billion minutes of viewership. Ooh, that's interesting, because the Acolyte debuted, what was that, in Pride Month in June? Oh, okay, so it had basically a year in circulation and 8 episodes, 2.7 billion minutes. And what was that, Landman? We were just talking about that. What did it end up getting? Oh, 10 billion minutes in like 6 weeks. Oh, that's a little bit different. Oh, okay, cool. At first glance, sorry, 2.7 billion minutes viewed might seem impressive, but context is key. Yeah, because you take a look at the rest of this stuff and your top TV originals for 2024. Fool Me Once, 12 billion. Bridgerton, 11 billion. Landman, just about 10 million. The Perfect Couple, Tulsa King, Monsters, The Gentleman, Fallout, Griselda, Love is Blind. Netflix dominating the charts, but what you don't see there at all, like you've got the two Taylor Sheridan projects, but a whole bunch of Netflix, one Prime Video series, and that was the one that they had zero faith in, so they just batch released it, as opposed to the Rings of Power, which, yeah, I guess we don't talk about that. Put the Acolyte's performance into perspective, the number 10 spot on the list, Love is Blind, earned 7.3 billion minutes viewed. Yeah, that means Disney's flagship series are falling far behind the competition, and in fact, we can go ahead and just give you that accurate reporting right there, year to year, December 29, 2023 to December 31st, 2024, Disney Plus's top 10 shows, and you got Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I would argue the most inoffensive series. That's at least the one that I heard the least about. Nobody really talked about it. But yeah, it got 3 billion minutes. Okay, not bad, I guess. Then you had the Acolyte at 2.6, yeah, just you can even round it up to 2.7, but remember, that's the cutoff line, right? Like, because I think season 2 of Percy Jackson is coming out, but the Acolyte got canceled. Then you have Agatha, oopsie daisy, 2.2 billion minutes, not good. Then you had Echo, 5 episodes, 1.5 billion. And remember, that released in the first or second week of January, so that had the entire, January 9th, right there. It had the entire year to accumulate an audience. Spoiler, it didn't. And then you have the last billion-minute series of X-Men 97, 1.4 billion minutes watched, launched at the end of March. So successful, they fired the showrunner. But that's at least getting a season 2. But that's also animated. Oh, so was Star Wars: The Bad Batch. That's animated. There's 3 seasons of that out. Ooh, couldn't break the billion minutes watched. Sucks to suck, I guess. And then you got Skeleton Crew. Oh, cool. We finally got the first rating. And oh, that ends up getting 900 million minutes. Oh, but I guess that's only for what, 2/3 of the season? Ahsoka season 1, Mandalorian, those 3 seasons, oh no, that just is season 3. So Ahsoka got beat out by the cartoon show. Oh, and then Mandalorian season 1 was rewatched. Oh shit, that's like really bad. That's even worse than I thought. Damn. Released on December 19th, 2023, Percy Jackson topped the Disney section of Luminate's 2024 report, even though its premiere wasn't counted towards the 2024 numbers. Even with this handicap, it still outperformed the Acolyte in total viewership. So yeah, everything on D+ was a disaster under the Marvel and Lucasfilm umbrella. What are we doing? Holy. But when the Acolyte's performance is compared to other Disney Plus Star Wars series, the numbers paint an even bleaker picture. Canceled show fell well short of Ahsoka, a series that itself is considered a disappointment by many, but it's such a disappointment that Dave Filoni can go back into the little sandbox and bang together his action figures once more, and I'm sure we'll probably get a little bit more of a concrete idea with that Star Wars Celebration in April when we can anticipate season 2. I would imagine probably at the end of the year, because that pile of shit, it's probably not too difficult to turn it back around. You just throw enough money at that nonsense and you jangle enough keys, and oh boy, we'll talk about that later this week. Holy shit, man. Bruh, some of those rumors, ugh, pathetic. But I digress. Skeleton Crew's post-Acolyte flop shows a faltering momentum for Star Wars. It demonstrates increasing audience apathy and each new entry into the Star Wars mythos. And the failure of Skeleton Crew could be a reflection on the Acolyte itself. I would imagine so, right? Because it would have been fine. Like, if Star Wars was thriving, Skeleton Crew wouldn't have hurt, nor harmed, or bolstered the brand at all. It just would have been fine. You know, people starved for more Star Wars content. They would have ate it up, and it might have got a second season. This time around, though, it's like, it's fine, but it's not something that, you know, I'm looking forward to if there's another season. But it's also not getting anybody excited for any future Star Wars content, which on the horizon, you got Andor season 2, but nothing that Lucasfilm has put out is either going to help nor hinder that, because Andor fans, they're kind of a subsection of their own Star Wars fans. And the only thing else that is confirmed, because there's plenty of announcements that are out there, is Mandalorian and Grogu. That's coming out, what is it, May in 2026? Yeah, we'll see. But that's at least a wrapped filming, so who knows if there'll be reshoots. We'll probably get a trailer. Yeah, it's Celebration. But all that said, there's nothing. Star Wars is supposed to be a flagship brand for Disney. They bought it to appeal to male audiences, but Kathleen Kennedy's goofy, narcissistic ass tried to make it a girl's brand, and well, Star Wars is in the shape that it's in because of that stupid decision. The embarrassing performance of the Acolyte is emblematic of these challenges Disney Plus and Lucasfilm face. It highlights not only the declining interest in Star Wars, but also the challenges of sustaining a streaming service reliant on expensive original content. Because, yeah, you take a look, right? Like, just going back to this goofy little chart that's right here, okay? Don't know the budget for Percy Jackson, but it's live action, it's Disney, 9 digits, it's not off the table. The Acolyte, like we said before, $230 million, 9 digits for Agatha, 9 digits for Echo. X-Men 97, likely the cheapest alongside Bad Batch, but the Skeleton Crew, I think we heard that's also in the $100 million. Ahsoka, and then Mandalorian, like, it's all in the same place. Like, they aren't recouping their budgets there at all. And take a look at what's on the horizon. Like, we already went through, Star Wars releases coming out this year, but for Marvel on the TV side of things, like, you got Daredevil, that's going to be one of the biggest rug pulls, and the moment where, if you've got back any goodwill from people that are out there just holding on to hope beyond hope that that's going to be good. Oh, the moment that thing sucks because, we got some insight from the director coming, and that'll also be something we discuss later this week. Just letting you know that, once again, a good trailer does not mean a good series. Oh, it's going to be gritty, dark, and realistic, back down to earth, some real street level stuff. Oh, yeah, Secret Invasion also had that kind of trailer. Oh, yeah, and what was that? The Marvels also was supposed to be the story about how Dar-Ben, was going to be finishing the work of Thanos. Shut up. I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. Oh yeah, and when you're done with that, okay, and then once you miss going to the theater to go check out Thunderbolts, you can stay at home and boot up Disney Plus and experience Ironheart. Yeah, it's going to be a great year for streaming on Disney Plus. A fledgling streaming series that has yet to turn a project, not looking to turn a project, and will eventually be turned into a subgenre on Hulu when Disney's hubris and Bob Iger finally fucking leaves. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.